What if I told you that becoming rich in 2026 has less to do with hard work and more to do with understanding a system most people never see? What if the reason millions stay poor is not laziness, not lack of talent, but following rules that were designed for a world that no longer exists? Because here's the mystery. If education is more accessible than ever, if information is everywhere, if technology has lowered barriers to entry, then why is wealth becoming more concentrated, not less? And more importantly, how can someone starting with nothing realistically become rich in 2026? The answer is not motivational quotes. It's not wake up at 5 a.m., and it's definitely not what schools or governments teach. To understand the path forward, we must first understand how the game was built, setting the stage, how money really works. For most of modern history, wealth followed ownership. Land, factories, machines. During the Industrial Revolution, those who owned production became rich. Those who sold labor stayed dependent. Then came the 20th century. Banks rose. Credit expanded. Debt replaced savings. Money stopped being backed by gold and started being backed by trust. And more importantly, control. By the late 1900s, a new rule emerged. If you don't own assets, you don't build wealth. You just survive inflation. Most people were never told this directly. They were told, get a job, save money, buy a house, retire peacefully. But quietly, the system changed, and those who adapted early became extraordinarily rich. Origins, where the wealth gap really began. In the early 2000s, something shifted. Technology stopped being optional. The internet stopped being a tool and became infrastructure. Suddenly, information moved faster than institutions. Individuals could reach millions without permission. Capital flowed digitally, globally, instantly, but the poor man was still following old rules. Trade time for money, depend on salaries, save cash in depreciating currencies. Meanwhile, the wealthy adapted. They didn't work harder. They positioned better. They learned leverage. Digital leverage. Media leverage. Financial leverage. This is where the divergence began. The rise. How new wealth is actually created. By the 2010s and early 2020s, a pattern became clear. New wealth was no longer built by working more hours, climbing corporate ladders, waiting for promotions. It was built by owning attention, owning systems, owning scalable skills. One person with a laptop could now outperform factories, offices, entire departments. Platforms replaced employers. Algorithms replaced managers. Skills replaced degrees. But here's the catch. Most people still tried to fit into the system, instead of learning how the system rewards value. The breaking point, 2020 to 2025. Then came the shocks. Pandemics, inflation, currency devaluation, AI automation. Millions realized something terrifying. Jobs were not security. Savings were not safe. Governments were reactive, not protective. At the same time, asset owners got richer, skill owners adapted, passive income scaled, while wage earners fell behind. This was the breaking point, not of the economy, but of the illusion. Pull out the poor man's dilemma. By 2026, the poor man faces a brutal truth. Working harder in a broken model does not lead to wealth. It leads to exhaustion. The real obstacle is not money. It is financial illiteracy, fear of uncertainty, following outdated advice. Most failed attempts to escape poverty collapse because they focus on quick money, get-rich-quick schemes, blind hustle without strategy, which leads us to a failed fixes why most advice doesn't work. Just start a business. Just invest. Just work on yourself. These sound good but lack context. A poor man cannot invest like a rich man. He cannot take the same risks. He cannot wait the same timelines. What fails is not effort. What fails is sequence. Trying to invest before learning skills. Trying to scale before creating value. Trying to earn passively before earning actively. Modern parallels. The pattern repeats. Every era rewards something different. 1800s land. 1900s industry. Late 1900s capital. 2000s information. 2026 and beyond. Skills plus leverage plus ownership. AI will replace routine jobs. Inflation will punish idle savings. Attention will become currency. And the pattern is clear. Those who understand the shift rise. Those who ignore it fall further behind. 3 clear takeaways. The real path for 2026. A wealth starts with skill, not money. High-income skills are the new assets.
Skills that scale digitally.
Skills that solve expensive problems. Without skill, money disappears. With skill, money follows. Ownership beats employment. Own content. Own systems. Own equity, even if it starts small. Renting your time alone will never build freedom. I leverage multiplies effort. Technology, AI, platforms, and media allow one person to create impact at scale, but only if they learn how to use them intentionally. Final warning and an open question. 2026 will not be kinder. It will reward clarity and punish confusion. It will amplify discipline and expose ignorance. The poor man who waits for permission will stay poor. The poor man who learns the rules can change everything.